This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Okay, we're going to be talking about Jeezy. Jeezy comes at Freddie Gibbs and 50 Cent today, okay? As if you know, Freddie Gibbs was signed to Jeezy. And I always knew this was going to happen one day with Jeezy because, you know, Jeezy had a lot of artists in the 2000s. And as I got to know certain people around his camp around like 07, 08, 09, I knew one of the camera guys working over there. He didn't really treat everybody right, okay? Name one artist that got a record deal under Jeezy. And you can't say YG because YG was signed to Def Jam. Jeezy got paid to come in and co-sign it and lend his imprint, and it worked. But Jeezy had nothing to do with him really blowing up. You know, he helped him with his first record, his first single, I should say, because YG had already switched up and had a formula that was working. Now, he had Slick Pulla, a bunch of people under him, Blood Raw, who else? Rossellini, Boo Rossellini. None of these guys blew up because Jeezy wanted to be the star, okay? Jeezy, some rappers, and Jeezy's one of my favorite rappers, but some rappers aren't meant to be CEOs, and that's just my point, okay? Some rappers could be the best rappers, like Jeezy's one of the best rappers from Atlanta, but because, you know, he has everything going for him, but he's not the best CEO of putting other people on. So later, he, you know, those guys are his core guys. Like Blood Raw had his problems with Jeezy, but it didn't get really public, you know. And then he has his core guys like Slick Pulla, Boo Rose. They're not gonna say anything. Well, guess who did say something? Freddie Gibbs. Okay, now Jeezy claims he was investing his own money. It wasn't working. They parted ways, but Freddie Gibbs kind of called him out on all that stuff and called him out on that he wasn't real and this and that, you know, like, I think he felt like he wasted his time with Jeezy, you know, and that he said something happened where Jeezy got in his feelings and wasn't pushing him in the same way, and I could kind of see that, I'm gonna be honest, okay, like, this has nothing to do with Jeezy as a rapper or this or that, this has to do with him being a CEO, okay, you gotta decipher the two. Some people get emotional in the comments, and they can't separate the two, okay. So Freddie Gibbs was mentioned in Jeezy. For some reason, Jeezy put out a track venting about all his issues today, and one of the first people he mentioned was Freddie Gibbs. He said, "Scary." So from Jeezy, likened him as a scary little boy. That was back in 2013. He said this on MTV. About Freddie Gibbs. He's tired of the fake empty... Oh, because Freddie Gibbs said he's sick of the fake and empty promises. Jeezy said he was a scared little boy. Later, he said, if 1.5 wasn't my dog, I wouldn't have touched them. When that stuff went down with Gibbs, I couldn't trust him, invested my hard-earned money, tied up my bread, but he gonna try and tell you I'm flawed. That's in his head. It's happening just the way I said. Good on your own. If I'm honest, nothing gangsta about you. Leave this alone. Well, you reenacted Freddie Gibbs, because now Freddie Gibbs is putting out all of these things. He said, I actually saw BMF put this man in a headlock. And this will trickle into the 50 Cent thing. So Freddie Gibbs said, oh, you big mad Jeezy. He said, I can't beef with this guy. You got it, so you want it. And then he shows Jeezy doing that dance he did in Kroger's to promote his single. That's where, like, Jeezy, that was a misstep on Jeezy's part. Like, he left Def Jam, put out this 6-song EP, which was okay. It wasn't really that great. It wasn't up to Jeezy standards, and I can only judge Jeezy on Jeezy's incredible discography, right? This was horrible, okay, compared to that. Somebody, it's not so bad. You know, people don't want to see it as being bad. You got to compare it to his catalog, and if you compare it to his catalog, it's trash, okay? So he did that. It was really weird, honestly, because you could tell he's been dating this other girl for too long and is far removed from the core Jeezy. Girls can do that to you. They can get you out of your core foundation of who you are. Then Freddie Gibbs says, this guy Jeezy smoked your partner, and you about to sit in a room and do a versus with him. Don't talk about no street stuff, fam. Oh, he's telling Jeezy out for, Gucci Mane taking out Jeezy's partner. But Jeezy sent this guy that was affiliated. He wasn't under CTE. And he just encouraged somebody to get Gucci Mane's chain. This guy tried it, and it didn't work out so well. And Gucci Mane just called that out. He said, go dig up your partner for the verses. He might not say anything. Then Freddie Gibbs said, let's see. He said, Jeezy, someone from BMF put Jeezy in a headlock in front of him. And he said, no, I mean an actual headlock. That's so funny, man. So then, speaking of BMF, Southwest T came out. 50 Cent reacted. And he called out Jeezy and said, this goofy dude didn't check in with Southwest T. He says, Big T said Jeezy was kind of ass too. He said, how you screaming BMF, who helped to get a record deal, then Meech Mom is calling you, texting you, letting you know T is home, and you ignoring his phone calls. So now his mom said, F the backstage passes and free tickets to concerts, pick up the phone. That's funny. And you know what? Jeezy did pick up the phone. And I do believe that because Jeezy gets a little bit Hollywood. I like Jeezy, don't get me wrong, but he does get a little Hollywood. Jeezy is an industry gangsta at this point, okay? He's been like that since 07 and still giving us great records. Just don't sign to Jeezy, Just let Jeezy be Jeezy. Jeezy was trying to, level up. There was this thing going on in the early 2000s where everybody felt like they had to be like Puffy. And not everybody's like Puffy. And Puffy is, good at it, but he's not the best. His artists don't really drop more than 1 or 2 albums. 50 Cent was pretty good at it. But, everyone was trying to be like Russell Simmons and everything. And you can't, that has to be in you. It can be in you to be the best rapper, but it has to be in you to be a CEO and a leader. There's a boss, and a boss sits on a chair and commands people to tell what to do. And a leader actually grabs a shovel and starts working with the crew and leads. Not everybody's a leader. Some people can be bosses, but it takes a leader to actually do this work. And that's just my point. When you got a team, you got to be a leader. You can't just be a boss. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. What do you guys think? Hit that like button. Do not forget to hit that like button. It's free to hit that like button. So smash that like button like it owes you something. Appreciate you guys. Peace.